If getting up from a chair has become harder than it used to be, your problem isn't age, it's not arthritis, and it's not something you just have to live with. The real culprit is something most doctors never address: silent glute shutdown. Your glutes are the largest, most powerful muscles in your body, designed specifically to lift you upward against gravity. But after 60, they quietly stop firing the way they should. And when your glutes stop working, everything else has to compensate. Your knees strain, your back aches. Simple movements become struggles. But here's the hopeful truth: you can wake them back up. In the next 15 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to rebuild glute power so standing up becomes easy again. Just like Barbara, 71, who went from needing her husband's hand every single time she stood to confidently rising from any chair on her own. You'll learn why this happens, what actually works, and the specific exercises that change everything. Let me tell you about Margaret. She's 67, a retired librarian who loved hosting book club at her home every Thursday evening. But over the course of about 18 months, something shifted. Getting up from her favorite reading chair started requiring a little push with her hands. Then it needed a real effort. Then she found herself rocking forward twice before she could stand. At restaurants, she began choosing only booths with tables she could push against. Low couches became impossible. The final straw came at her granddaughter's birthday party. Margaret sat down on a lawn chair in the backyard, and when it was time to stand for cake, she couldn't do it. She had to ask her son to pull her up, in front of everyone. The shame she felt in that moment was crushing. She told me later she cried in the car on the way home. That week, she canceled book club. She stopped accepting dinner invitations. Her world was quietly shrinking, all because standing up had become too hard, too unpredictable, too embarrassing. If any part of Margaret's story sounds familiar, I want you to know something important. You're not broken, you're not too old, and you're certainly not alone. This struggle with rising from chairs, couches, toilets, car seats, it's one of the most common complaints I hear from women over 60. And it makes perfect sense, because this one movement, the sit-to-stand transition, requires more lower body strength than almost anything else you do in daily life. When that strength fades, everything becomes harder. Your independence feels threatened. Your confidence drops. You start planning your entire day around whether you'll be able to get back up. And in just a moment, I'll show you exactly why most people never fix this, even when they try. But first, let me be clear about what's really happening in your body. Your glutes, the three muscles that make up your buttocks, are designed to be powerhouses. They extend your hip, which is the exact motion you need to stand up. When you're young, your glutes fire automatically, powerfully, every single time you stand. But after 60, something insidious happens. It's called gluteal amnesia. Your glutes literally forget how to activate properly. This happens because of prolonged sitting, changes in posture, reduced activity levels, even hormonal shifts. Your nervous system stops sending strong signals to these muscles. They become weak, underactive, almost dormant. And when your glutes stop doing their job, your body compensates. Your knees take over, which is why they ache. Your lower back strains to pull you upward, which is why it hurts. Your arms push harder, which is why you need furniture to lever yourself up. The weakness you feel isn't general, it's specific, and it's fixable. Now here's what most people get completely wrong about this problem. They think the solution is to strengthen their legs. So they try leg lifts, or they walk more, or they use resistance bands around their thighs, and none of it helps with standing up. Why? Because standing up isn't primarily a leg exercise, it's a hip extension movement. Your quadriceps, the front thigh muscles, help, but they're secondary. The prime mover, the muscle that should be doing 70% of the work, is your gluteus maximus. If that muscle isn't firing, no amount of leg work will make standing easier. Here's another myth, that you need a gym or special equipment. Not true. The most effective glute exercises for standing power require nothing but a chair and your own body. The third mistake is thinking you need to do complicated routines. Wrong again. 3 specific exercises, done correctly and consistently, will rebuild the exact strength you need. Simple, targeted, effective. So what actually works? Let me break this down into the exact steps that will restore your glute power and make standing up easy again. First, you need to wake up the connection between your brain and your glutes. This is called neuromuscular activation. Before you can strengthen a muscle, it needs to remember how to contract. The best way to do this is with glute squeezes. Here's how. Sit in a firm chair, feet flat on the floor. Without changing your posture, squeeze your buttocks together as hard as you can. Hold for 5 seconds. Release. That's 1 rep. Do 10 reps, 3 times a day. This sounds too simple to matter, but I promise you, it's rebuilding the neural pathway that's been weakened. Within a week, you'll feel your glutes engaging more naturally. Second, you need to strengthen the exact movement pattern of standing. This is where sit-to-stand exercises come in. Here's the proper technique. Sit in a chair with your feet hip-width apart, slightly behind your knees. Lean your torso forward so your nose is over your toes. This is critical. It shifts your center of gravity and allows your glutes to engage. Now, without using your hands, press through your heels and stand up. Focus on squeezing your glutes at the top. Lower back down with control. That's 1 rep. Start with 5 reps, rest, then do 5 more. Do this twice a day. If you can't stand without hands yet, use 1 finger on a counter for light balance, but don't push. The goal is to reduce assistance over time. Within 2 weeks, most women notice they can stand with less effort. Third, you need to build glute power beyond just standing. This creates reserve strength. The bridge exercise is perfect for this. Lie on your back, knees bent, feet flat on the floor, hip-width apart. Press through your heels and lift your hips toward the ceiling, squeezing your glutes hard at the top. Your body should form a straight line from shoulders to knees. Hold for 3 seconds. Lower slowly. Do 10 reps, rest, repeat. Do this every other day. Bridges isolate your glutes in a way that's safe and highly effective. They also strengthen your lower back and core, which support the standing movement. Quick note, if you want all of this laid out for you step by step, I put together a complete guide called the Glute Power Recovery System for Women Over 60. Everything you need in one place. Check the pinned comment below and grab it. Fourth, you need to add a dynamic strengthening element. Step-ups are excellent for this. Find a stable step, about 4 to 6 inches high. A stair step works perfectly, or even a thick book if you're just starting. Step up with your right foot. Press through that heel, squeeze your right glute, and lift your body up until you're standing on the step. Step back down with control. Do 5 reps on the right, then 5 on the left. Do 2 sets, 3 times a week. Step-ups mimic the standing motion, but add load and require balance, which further activates your glutes and builds real-world strength. Fifth, and this is the part most people skip, you need to practice standing from progressively lower surfaces. Start with a firm dining chair. Once that feels easy, move to a slightly lower chair, then a couch, then a coffee table height if you can safely. This progressive challenge forces your glutes to work harder and adapt. It's called functional progression, and it's how you go from managing one type of chair to handling any surface confidently. Let me tell you about Dorothy. She's 73, and she came to me 6 months ago barely able to stand from her recliner without rocking forward 3 times and pushing hard with both arms. Her knees were in constant pain. She'd stopped going to church because the pews were too low. I taught her these exact 5 steps. She started with glute squeezes while watching TV, added sit-to-stands using a kitchen chair, practiced bridges every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Within 3 weeks, she stood from that kitchen chair without hands for the first time in 2 years. By week 8, she was doing step-ups on her front porch. Last month, she sent me a photo from church, sitting in her pew, smiling. She told me standing up was easy now, automatic, like it used to be. Now let's talk about how you actually apply all of this starting today. Because knowing what to do means nothing if you don't start. Step 1. Do your first set of glute squeezes right now. 10 squeezes, 5 seconds each, sitting wherever you are. This takes 90 seconds. You've just started rebuilding that brain-muscle connection. The most common fear here is that it won't be enough, that something so simple can't possibly work. But this isn't the whole solution. It's the foundation. You're waking up a sleeping muscle. That matters. Step 2. Tomorrow morning, practice 3 sit-to-stands from a firm kitchen or dining chair. Focus on leaning forward, pressing through your heels, and standing without hands if possible. 1 finger for balance is fine. The fear here is falling or looking foolish. So do this near a counter. Stay safe, but challenge yourself. You're stronger than you think. Step 3. Tomorrow evening, do your first set of bridges. 10 reps, lying on a carpet or mat. Squeeze hard at the top. The fear is back pain or doing it wrong. If your back hurts, you're arching too much. Keep your core tight, hips level. It should feel like work in your buttocks, not your spine. Step 4. Add step-ups by the end of this week. Start small, a single stair, 5 each leg. The fear is losing balance, so hold a railing lightly. Safety first, but keep moving. Step 5. Track your progress. Notice how standing feels each day. Write it down if that helps. Celebrate small wins. The fear is that progress will be too slow. But here's the truth. Most women feel a difference within 10 to 14 days. Real, noticeable improvement, not imagined. Actual ease. Let me tell you quickly about Joanne, 70, who did exactly this. She started on a Tuesday. By the following Sunday, she stood up from her couch without thinking about it and actually gasped out loud because it felt easy. Her husband thought something was wrong. She laughed and said, "No, something's finally right." So here's where we are. You now know that difficulty standing up isn't about age or inevitability. It's about glute strength. Silent, fixable glute weakness. You know the exact exercises that wake those muscles back up and make them strong again. Glute squeezes, sit-to-stands, bridges, step-ups, progressive challenge. You know how to start today, safely, and what to expect. But knowing isn't enough. You have to decide, right now. Are you going to keep struggling? Keep avoiding low chairs? Keep feeling that flush of embarrassment when you need help standing? Keep letting fear of falling or weakness steal your independence? Or are you going to take action? Imagine 6 weeks from now. You walk into a restaurant. They offer you a booth. You sit down without hesitation. When the meal is over, you stand up smoothly, naturally. No hands, no struggle, no second thought. You feel strong, capable, free. That version of you is completely possible. She's waiting, but only if you start today. Everything I just shared and more is waiting for you right now in the pinned comment below. Click it. Get the complete guide. Because your independence, your dignity, and your strength are worth 15 minutes of your time today. Don't wait. You deserve to move through life with confidence and ease, and your glutes are ready to give that back to you. Let's make it happen.